So lately on my channel, we've been playing a lot of games that have really just kind of gone under the radar ever since I made videos on them. And today, for my returning viewers and my new viewers that are watching this, I'm going to be giving you 10 underrated games that you probably haven't played that are really, really good. I think I made a video like this around 9 months ago, but to be honest with you, the video's alright, and honestly, most of the games that I put in there are pretty dated, and actually none of the games that were originally in that one were actually in this one. So I have a proposal. If at any point I give you a game in this video that you have not played or heard of, you have to subscribe and also like the video. And if for whatever odd reason you don't do either of those things and you found a new game, I'm gonna subject you to 2 hours of Drake's music. So unless you want a hotline bling, let's get this started. Coming in number 10, we have Karting League. Now, Karting League is a new game that has just come out and it really has nobody playing it, which doesn't make any sense to me because the game is actually pretty solid for its state that it's in. I don't think the game is actually finished. However, I do think that for what it is pretty damn amazing and it's really fun with your friends. But if you're still wondering what the game was all about, it's kind of like Mario Kart. Well, Nintendo's probably listening, so it's not like Mario Kart. It's just kind of similar. It features a whole plethora of maps and a load of power-ups that you can use that are kind of like the ones in Mario Kart. Kind of. I promise they're different. And on top of that, the karting in the game is almost near perfect. The only critique I actually have of it is when you crash in the walls, but that can easily be avoided by just, well, not crashing in the walls. But coming in at number 9, we have 21. Now, this is a game I actually featured on my channel a little while ago, and for at one point, the game was doing really well with over 1,000 concurrent players from my video, which I thought that was pretty damn amazing. However, I look back at it today and it kind of halved, so I'm gonna consider it underrated for now. The game itself is actually based off the Resident Evil 7 DLC, which I have never played, okay? People have just said that in my comments, I'm gonna run with it. But it's almost exactly like Blackjack with a little twist. You'll understand the twist as you play along in the game, but this is an amazing game to play with one of your friends one-on-one for a few hours, honestly. This game is actually one of those really rare cases where I've actually showed something to my IRL friends on Roblox and they were like, yeah, this is pretty fire. So do what you will with that information. But coming in at number 8, we have Room. Now, Room is Doom, except it's made inside Roblox, and everybody knows that Room can be made on literally anything, like anything. And if you're a fan of retro shooters, this game is definitely for you. The game has a bunch of levels you can go through and also has a bunch of guns that you can use. This is one of those games where I feel like if you're alone and you have nothing better to do, there is literally no harm in running this game. Granted, I don't think the replayability is that high. However, if you're looking to kill maybe an hour or two of time, this game is definitely for you. Coming in at number 7, we have our first horror game, Anomaly Watch. And if you know anything about me, I absolutely hate horror games. However, I can recognize a good horror game when I see one, and this game in particular is really fun. I say this because it's based off the Mandela Catalog, which is an analog horror series, which is one of my personal favorites on YouTube. But the best way I can describe how to play this game is it's almost exactly like Phasmophobia, but instead of guessing what ghosts are there, you're trying to guess what anomalies are there, and you're trying to report them before things get too terrible. On my first playthrough, I was absolutely scared shitless, and it made for a really good video. They also just recently added a new map, so in terms of replayability, you have a little bit to go off of. But I will say, after probably doing 6 or 7 rounds of this, you are going to start noticing patterns, and honestly, that's where the fun kind of tapers off. But it's still really, really fun. I highly recommend playing this game with a group of 4 of your friends so you guys can all communicate, because doing this solo is almost near impossible. But if you can do it solo, more power to you. Coming at number 6, this is probably the weirdest game on the list. This game is called Cruelty Blocks. And to really be honest with you, I really have no idea how to explain this game to somebody. The game is based off the Steam game Cruelty Squad, which if you've ever played it, you probably know what I mean when I say I just don't know how to explain this to somebody. But honestly, I'll just tell you my experience with this game. It was brutal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a really hard time playing this game, but it was also really fun just because I didn't really know what to do. I had one goal and one goal only in mind, and that was to sell as many organs as humanly possible, which yes, you can do. And on top of that, you can rob people and take their organs after you're done robbing them and then sell it on the black market to invest in actual stocks in the game. You can't make this up. This game is weird. But I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy my experience. Truly the game of all time. But coming in at number 5, we have probably one of the most out there games of this list, Pizza Game. Now let's go ahead and pause and let's guess what Pizza Game is all about. If you said Pizza Game was a roguelike shooter game, well, you'd be right. Unlike a lot of these other games, so this game is still in early development. However, because it's a roguelike game, it it has basically infinite replayability. Every round that you do is different, every map you clear, it gets harder, and honestly, there's a lot to learn, but it's really fun. If you're someone like me who absolutely loves roguelike games, like Binding of Isaac, well, this game just might be up your alley. The only thing that this game has a shortcoming with is just the lack of content inside the game at the moment. However, I wouldn't be surprised if you check back in this game in like a year and this game absolutely blows up. So I guess if you play now, you can see that you played it before everybody else did. And that's a flex. Coming in at number 4, this is a game I've mentioned a lot before, and I've made countless videos on, but no matter what I do to this game is always just dead. Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about Reaver Arena. It is unbelievable how low of a player count this game has. It maybe has like 5 players on a good day, and the game is just butter smooth. The graphics are amazing. I don't know what more it needs to happen for this game to be famous. Like, look at this gameplay. Isn't it sick? And on top of that, the game is pretty evenly balanced, so there's not really any meta. It's literally just run around, grab some guns off the floor, and shoot your opponents. And if you don't even want to grab guns off the floor, the laser that you get is honestly good enough. The game itself actually takes pretty heavy inspiration off the newer Doom games. I mean, you can tell by the soundtrack itself and also the weapons. So if you're a fan of Doom Eternal or Doom 2016, this game is really for you, if there's people playing it. Coming in at number 3, we have Versus. Now, Versus is our first and only zombie game on this list. Now, I could have put other zombie games on here, but honestly, this one in particular felt really special to me because it kind of functions like Left 4 Dead 2, and it's really fun. Now, me personally, I have never played Left 4 Dead 2, so I'm not going to claim I'm like the Left 4 Dead 2 god, but I honestly had a really good time, and if it's anything like Left 4 Dead 2, I can see why Left 4 Dead 2 was such an amazing game. But how this game works is pretty simple. There are 2 teams, the players and the zombies basically have their own special abilities, and each time you spawn in, you usually get a different zombie. And if you're lucky, you'll get this really big boy zombie that absolutely obliterates everything in its path. And the players have to work together long enough just so they can evacuate. But most of the time, I'm gonna be so real with you, the zombies win. The game doesn't really require much skill. As long as you can aim and shoot, you'll probably do pretty good inside this game. It's honestly pretty chill, and I don't really see it ever being taken over by really sweaty people. So coming in number 2, we have Ultimate Town Sandbox. And the best way to describe this game is it's like literally GTA 5 inside Roblox. I kid you not. Now, what makes this game so good is the fact that it's a sandbox. There's not necessarily one big objective you're going after, but there's plenty of things to do. For example, you could work at a coffee shop, and then after your shift at the coffee shop, go down to the gun store, buy a gun, and then fight a bunch of bandits. And if you want to also, you can also just murder infinite civilians. Not saying that I've done it. However, the Family 5 did have $35 on them. Oh, I'm so sorry. And if you thought that was bad enough, you can literally cause destruction with vehicles and also run over people for money. I'm not making this up. And because this game is a sandbox and there's so many things to do, it has so much replayability, and you could be spending hours on this game easily. But now it's the moment we all waited for. The grand finale. What is the most underrated game on Roblox in my opinion? That goes to no game other than Superblock 64. I don't know if it's nostalgia that makes this game so good for me, but this game reminds me heavily of Super Mario 64. And honestly, this is one of the very few games that I actually went ahead and went out of my way to 100% complete it. Honestly, Superblock 64 gave me an experience that honestly no other game can do on Roblox. And while I was completing through all the levels, I not only felt nostalgic, but I actually really enjoyed what I played. For just a second there, it felt like I was playing on my little DS again. And the best part is, this game's not even finished yet. They're actually going to release a World 6 pretty soon here, and you know damn well when that drops, I'm probably going to make a video on it. So there we have it, my top 10 most underrated Roblox games in 2024 so far. Now, there's a potential if more games come out that I feel like are amazing, then there could be a part 2 to this video later down the line. But for now, these are the best 10 games that I think that you should play that you probably haven't heard of. So if at all during this video you found a game that you hadn't actually known about, then you need to click the subscribe button. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your guys' day. Bye bye.